By Mr. Lual Diing Wol, Juba, South Sudan. Hello people of South Sudan, I hope this finds you well. I have been keeping this issue between me and Mr. Rizik Dominic out of the South Sudanese public since 2018. I bought this piece of land from an old man from Equatoria and I assigned 2 people to look after it since land grabbing is becoming common practice in Juba by powerful government elites. Few weeks later after I traveled out of the country, Mr. Rizik Dominic, who was working in the office of the president as executive director, started bringing in building materials and start intimidating people I assigned to look after the land which I bought for my mother and the family of Lieutenant General Lual Diing Wol, popularly known as Barber Africa. After I came back to Juba, I booked an appointment with Rizik Dominic, the elite land grabber in J1, and we met and talked. I told him we are in the same government and honestly there is no need to fight over the land. He told me the land was sold to him by Maben, also known as Makalele. I told him if you like the land location then pay me and I will go and buy a land somewhere for the family of Barber Africa. We agreed and the meeting went well. I was ready to hand over my title deed papers since my papers are genuine from 2003 and his papers were obtained in 2013 for the same land I owned. Few days later Mr. Rizik Dominic, the executive director in the office of the president, sent someone to come and tell me to go to court, so I opened the case in 2018 and he forced himself to continue building the house in my land. The court summons him more than 4 times but he refused to obey the court orders because he works with president and he is powerful. Since Lieutenant General Lual Diing Wol is long dead, he doesn't care. He continued building the house you see above as we continue to obey the court rulings. The court asked me to go to Lands and Physical Infrastructure. The Ministry of Lands verified the land title deed and I was told by Ministry that the land doesn't belongs to Mr. Rizik according to the sketch map at the Ministry of Lands, and the papers I provided shows my land title deed is indeed genuine and already in the system. After hearing all these, he then called my nephew and asked him to talk to me so that we resolve the land issue. By then he was sacked from the office of the president. I also agreed to compromise. After sending my team to meet him, he asked them to take them around Juba to show them the properties he owns. If I like any of his property we exchange, and I totally agreed. Few days later he went silent and started bribery game. He bribed the court judge and he continued building the house in my land. The bribed judge called me and told me, "Son of hero, please I need something for water. I believe your documents are genuine." I laughed and asked my nephew to give him 180,000 South Sudanese pounds. He received the money and appreciated me since I know the economic situation in the country is hard, so the judge kept calling me asking for more money. I told him the money I gave him was to assist your family dealing with the economic situation, to buy food and airtime, not a bribe. The corrupt judge hung up and went silent, so this morning we had a court session and he promised and assured me that my documents are genuine and the lands belong to me and the General Lual Diing Wol family. While Mr. Rizik Dominic has completed building his mansion on my titled land which he grabbed by force, Mr. Rizik leased the house to an NGO owned by an Ethiopian and he bribed a corrupt court judge before our court hearings. In the morning of court hearing early in August 2022, the corrupt court judge ruled out that the sketch map shows the land belongs to Mr. Rizik Dominic, the land grabber. The judge didn't even send anyone to do investigative survey, but Ministry of Lands did summon Mr. Rizik Dominic not to put up any building, but he disobeyed the orders. Mr. Rizik Dominic has never attended any court session since I filed the case. The judge asked him to provide a few documents needed but he failed to do so. I am asking Chief Justice Chan Reach and His Excellency President Salva Kiir and all 5 vice presidents to look into this matter urgently and to audit the judiciary and the whole justice system. I am annoyed. I am warning, if I take the law in my own hands, no one, and I repeat no one, should blame me over this corrupt system. One thing I know from today onward, Mr. Rizik will never complete that building nor will he sleep there. Mark my words. I'm not threatening but it's the fact. That land is my father's land. I would rather die there. The same thing has happened few years ago after CPA was signed. Someone sold my father's land to the current American embassy in Juba, and my father asked me to let it go because he didn't have title deed, but there were witnesses of father, for example people like Aldo Aju, Kawak Makue, Ajal Dengai and Arthur Akuan were the first to build their house there, and my father named the suburb as Thongpini. I am asking the government executives to intervene because that court in Juba failed miserably and we citizens of this country are running out of patience. Proudly brought to you by Mac Talks. Subscribe, share, like our channel for more stories.